Hello there, welcome back to my channel. It's your everydayness Abby. So we are continuing with our discussion on bipolar affective disorder. So in the previous video, we talked about what bipolar is, having two poles, and then we talked about the first aspect, that is the manic episode, and the signs that you would see when you are going through the manic episode. Today, we are going to talk about the second aspect, which is the depressive episodes. So, like we said in the previous video, there are two aspects of bipolar affective disorder. You experience mania and then you experience depression. Kindly visit the previous video for more knowledge on the manic episode. And please don't forget to subscribe to my channel, like, and also share. So let's get into our discussion for today. So, like I said earlier, there are two aspects of bipolar affective disorder, and the second aspect is depressive episode. So, this is where the person experiences emotional lows, and these lows may include being depressed or having depressive mood or having profound sadness. So the person becomes very sad, cries unnecessarily, becomes sad over little issues or because of the condition that the person is experiencing. There is also loss of interest in activities previously enjoyed. So all the things, the fun-loving games that the person used to do, maybe spending time with the family, playing games, watching football, watching movies and other things, all those things ceases. The person always wants to be alone, isolating him or herself, not trying to engage in any activities of interest. The next thing we can talk about is feeling tired without working much. So we said in the manic episode that they tend to have increased energy level and they tend to work without getting tired. But for the depressive episode, they become tired even without doing much. Yes, they become very, very fatigued. It's like they always want to sleep, not waking up to do anything. There is also sleeping problems. So it's either the person sleeps more or sleeps less. And most of the times it's around 12 a.m. downwards to like when it's reaching the daytime that the person wakes up and the person begins to have negative thoughts about herself, about other people, and about the world. That she has no importance in this world, nobody loves him or her, and that the world is against her. Like, yeah. So that is it. There is sleeping problems, and the person becomes anxious about any minor issue. So whether the person is supposed to be anxious about it or not to be anxious about it, the person tends to be anxious at all times, even with minor issues that is of no importance. There is also change in appetite and weight. So the person tends to eat very much, eats more, or does not eat at all, even with persuasion. So when the person is eating much, then it will affect weight. That is when the person tends to gain more weight. And when the person is eating less, that is when the person loses weight. So there is change in appetite and there is also change in weight. The person avoids school, work, or academics. So the bipolar tends to affect important areas of function. So in depression, the person avoids school, the person avoids work, the person avoids relationship with others. So all vital aspects of the person's life is neglected. And also the person neglects his or her personal hygiene. So we know that when you wake up in the morning, you're supposed to bath, dress, go about your activities. So when the person is depressed, the person tends to neglect his or her personal hygiene. The person will not feel or have the need to bath, have the need to groom herself. She'll just be in bed crying all the time and feeling sad about him or herself. There is also thoughts of suicide and suicide attempts. So the person feels like he or she is not loved. The person feels like nobody cares about her. The person feels like there is nothing important in this world to do. And the only important or the only solution to this is for her to end her life. So they would actually attempt the suicide, and if they are successful, they can end up killing themselves. So you realize that the person will start hoarding medications. As in, if there is medication in the house, the person will try keeping them, storing a lot of them, so that she can take it all up at once and then end their life. Sometimes sleeping pills. Other people also go in for poison so that they would take it and kill themselves. Other people would go for a rope so that they can hang themselves. So they'll start hoarding things that they can use to harm themselves. And they would always wish to be alone so that they will be able to commit the act. Because if they are with people, they can't do that. So they will try to push everybody away to have the liberty of taking their lives. So there is also hallucinations and delusions. So hallucinations in the sense that the person begins to hear voices in the head. It could be the person's own voice or voices of other people that the person know, saying negative things to the person, telling the person he or she is not loved, he or she has no importance. And this causes the person to lose her self-esteem. So that will lead the person to committing the act because the voices will push her to do so. And in delusions, they have the feeling of having committed a grievous thing or having committed a crime. That is why probably nobody loves them. That is why. So they will always find reasons for situations that are happening. Even when you say something to them that seems to be negative, they will feel like they are the cause of that. So they tend to develop some false belief about themselves, and they act on those things. There is also feelings of guilt and hopelessness. So they feel like there is no hope for the future, nothing can change, the situation will stay just like that without anything becoming good. So these are some few signs and symptoms that someone going through bipolar affective disorder, the depressive episode would exhibit. So please, when you realize that someone is having this switch of moods, other times the person is happy, going through the manic phase, other times the person is depressed, going through the depressive episode, there is a need to take the person to the hospital so that proper assessment can be done and the person can be helped. So it's your everydayness, Abby. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your attention. Please don't forget to share. Don't forget to also subscribe, because when you subscribe, you receive more videos, and when you share, other people would also be blessed. Let's work together to rid our world of mental illnesses. Meet you in the next video. Bye.